You are watching Sammy the Interviewing Toucan, made possible by the Indiana Young Readers Center. Hey everybody, it's Sammy here today, and I'm here today with Annie Sullivan. Hi Annie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
I'm great. It's so nice to meet you and talk to you. You know, talking to Hoosier authors is my absolute favorite thing to do, so I'm really excited that we have this time together.
Well, I'm super excited to be talking to a toucan. That's pretty amazing.
Well, you know, I am kind of great. So, Annie, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your connection to Indiana?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Indianapolis. I still live here. I live pretty close to the Castleton Mall. And I love being from Indiana. I love that we have all four seasons and the best children's museum, but also, that hometown feel where everyone is so welcoming and kind. So yeah, I went to Indiana University and got my undergraduate degree there in English with a concentration in creative writing. And then I went to Butler University and got my master's degree in creative writing. So you could definitely say that I'm an Indiana girl through and through.
Oh, I love that. That's so great. I love talking to a full-blooded Hoosier like you. That's great.
Yes, yes.
So, can you tell us a little bit about your work? I have one of your books here, Touch of Gold, and I know you've got another one out. Can you just tell us about your writing?
Yeah, so I love to write fairy tale retellings and fun young adult fantasy books. I kind of call them Disney movies on steroids. And A Touch of Gold, the one you've got there, is about the cursed daughter of King Midas, who has to set out and face pirates, betrayers, and thieves on her quest to get her father's gold back when it gets stolen. And the sequel to it, A Curse of Gold, just came out last month, and it follows up with the daughter of King Midas. She tries to break the golden curse over her and her father before she loses her kingdom forever.
Oh
And
my
then my
goodness.
other book is called Tiger Queen, and it's about a warrior princess who fights suitors in an arena to win her right to rule.
Oh my goodness, all of those sound so fun. Now I do want to mention, Annie, that when we actually release this, it might be a month or so after we're taping. So some
Oh,
of those books might already be out. So rush to the stores, everyone. Go buy Annie's books. So exciting. So Annie, can you tell us a little bit more about your creative journey? Where are you now, and where do you hope to be someday? I mean, it's very exciting to be a published author, but maybe you have other hopes and dreams?
yeah, it was definitely a long road getting here. I mean, I started writing my first book, A Touch of Gold, back in 2012 when I was at Butler University getting my master's degree. It actually became my master's thesis. So from writing it in 2012 until it came out in 2018, it was quite a long journey of trying to get a literary agent and get a publisher. And I was rejected by over 100 agents. So I always tell future writers out there, if you get rejected, it's okay. You just keep going and keep trying because it can be a very hard industry. But as long as you persevere, you really will make it and you can be a published author. And here I am with 3 books out now, which is just so amazing. I feel so blessed to have that opportunity. And I mean, I would love to have them be made into movies. I think that would be something that would be really, really cool. And I'm working on some new stuff as well, just some new standalone young adult fantasy books as well. So things are definitely still moving. I'd love to branch out into picture books or middle grade books, just all of that good stuff.
Oh, I love that. I started reading Touch of Gold just before this interview. I'm sorry I haven't gotten in all the way through it yet. But I must say, just from the very first page, I thought to myself, oh my gosh, this would make a great movie. So
Oh,
I
well,
really
thank
hope
you.
someone picks it up someday. And I have to ask you, do you know the book, The Chocolate Touch?
I do not.
Oh,
That sounds
Annie,
amazing.
you have to read it. It's about a little boy. It's an old, I'm dating myself. It's from when I was a small bird, but it's an older book about a little boy who gets his wish that everything he touches turns to chocolate. And you can imagine pros and cons, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. But at least he can eat. I mean, poor King Midas, when he could turn things to gold, he couldn't even eat because all his food turned to gold.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's true. At least he could eat. So there's
yes. But then again, everything turning to chocolate sounds like a gift, but might turn out
maybe
to be a
not.
curse. You got to be
That's
careful with
right.
those curses.
That's right. Now, you know, Annie, we are living through our own curse right now, sort of, living through the COVID-19 health crisis. How are you doing? And do you have any advice for other people?
Well, I am doing okay. It kind of depends. Some days it's easier to write, some days it's harder. And I'll actually let you in on a little secret is I'm high risk. I have asthma. And so I have to be very careful. But one of the reasons that I actually got into writing is because of my asthma. Because when I was a little kid, I had to be on a breathing machine every couple of hours. And it was so loud that I couldn't hear the TV or anything, but I could hear my mom when she would read to me from behind. And so I got to be a hobbit on an adventure, or Harry Potter, in his little under the staircase, and all these cool, fun characters as a kid. And I think that's why I love reading, and that's why I love writing. Is because I want to bring a new world to someone out there, because we are living in a very tough world right now where there's a lot of problems, a lot of people are struggling. And if you're one of those people, turn to books. They can be a really great way to get out of your head and get out of this world for a little while. Or turn to writing. Like I said, it can be hard to write right now. It can be hard to be creative when there's so much going on in the world that's so pressing on you. But definitely try to do anything you can to get out of your head and back into something you enjoy, because that'll make you hopefully feel better. And again, there's no shame in seeking out extra help if you need it. Like I said, it's a really tough time right now, and I know a ton of authors who are having a hard time being creative. And I do try to have a schedule where I write a minimum of 500 words a day, but some days that's really hard, and some days I write 3,000. You just never know. So give yourself a little bit of grace and just keep going and know that this will eventually pass.
I think all of that is really, really wonderful. And thank you for sharing about the fact that you're high risk. And I really hope that you're staying safe and all of
I've
that.
been quarantining pretty
Oh,
well,
right.
so.
Well, that's really good. Oh, gosh. And those are all really good tips. Back to something you said earlier, you were talking about the fact that it took you a while to get an agent. I actually heard an author once say that every writer has a number over their head, and that number is the number of times that they're going to be rejected. And if you knew your number, wouldn't you just keep submitting until you got there? Isn't that a nice way to think about it?
I love that quote. I hadn't heard that before, and I think it's
Yeah.
so true. I mean, and it's hard because even once you get rejected by agents, once you finally get an agent, then you start getting rejected by publishers. So you're constantly being rejected. And I'll give you another example with one of my other books that we went on submission, which means we sent it out to publishers to get it published. One publisher rejected it because it was too dark.
Ugh.
And literally the next day, a different publisher rejected it because it wasn't dark enough. So you're never going to please everyone. So write what you love, write what you know, what speaks to you and makes you happy, because that is what's going to make your reader happy. I always say if I'm having fun writing the story, I think my readers will have fun reading it. So just keep that in mind too, and don't give up when you get rejected.
I'm sure all of that is totally, totally spot on. That's so great. So Annie, I'm inviting all of my authors to do a show and tell. Do you have something there you want to show us?
I do. Since I've already showed you my books, I will show you, I love book art, and I know some people are not a fan of it, of cutting up books, but I think if there's a good way to save old books from landfills, why not turn it into art? So this is, you can see it, it's made out of pages. It's a teapot.
I love it.
Because surprisingly, I collect teapots, and this is a teapot made out of a book.
Oh, I think that's so fun. And Annie, we need to tell everyone that when people throw old books away, it doesn't mean that they're bad people. It really doesn't.
Right.
Sometimes old books have bad information in them. Sometimes, like the book itself is just worn out and it needs to be replaced.
Yeah, it could be moldy. It could have been eaten by bugs or gotten caught in a flooded basement or something. So sometimes those things do happen.
Exactly. And I am a bookophile. I don't think that's the right word. A bibliophile. That's the word.
There you
Yes,
go.
I absolutely am. And I love books. But, librarians, we have this process called weeding. Just like you're weeding your garden, you have to kind of weed your bookshelf so that you have room for new books. And,
Exactly.
it's nice to find homes for your old books, but sometimes they do have to just be turned into a teapot.
Yes, right? And if it's a lovely teapot that then you can use to decorate, all the better, right?
All the better. That's right. Well, gosh, Annie, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much for joining me today. So this is your favorite Hoosier Toucan, encouraging you to read local. So long, everyone.